Kyle Richards talks Mauricio Umansky's post-split choices. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills' Kyle Richards believes estranged husband Mauricio Umansky is in the throes of a midlife crisis, and she's not afraid to let him know it. After Camille Grammer said as much early in season 14, Kyle admitted on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show that she didn't necessarily disagree with the assessment amid their ongoing separation. Probably there's some truth to that. She told castmate Erica Jane of her 54-year-old ex. I mean, I would say this to his face, which I actually have. Kind of watching how he's been navigating through this situation, there's been times I've thought, oh, this is giving major midlife crisis vibes. Case in point, the vehicle Mauricio bought for their Aspen home, which Kyle playfully dubbed a midlife crisis mobile. In the above rhobh after show clip, the wife described Mao's big monster truck as having a rough, sandpapery exterior and giant wheels. It looks like a monster coming through town. It's not like one you see around, she elaborated. Everyone stares, and you're like, oh God. Kyle Richards opens up about Mauricio Umansky's partying. Meanwhile, rhobh season 14 covered more of Mauricio's single-life behavior, including him publicly kissing a woman on an international vacation and partying with Paul P.K. Kemsley and Summer House's Kyle Cook in Miami Beach. When Andy Cohen asked during the season 14 reunion if it hurt Kyle to see Mauricio out partying around the world, however, she swiftly replied in the negative. It makes me think that's one of the reasons we're not together, actually. I don't like to go out and party like that, she explained. So when I see that, I'm like, when we were in our 20s, it was great. 30s too, but now I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, let our daughters go. Fast forward a few months, though, and Kyle actually joined Mauricio, along with eldest daughters Farrah Brittany, Alexia Umansky, Sophia Umansky, and niece Nikki Hilton, at a Los Angeles club for a pre-Mother's Day family night out. Portia Umansky, who's only 17, is still too young, of course. Where Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky stand today. Since announcing their split in October 2023, Kyle and Mauricio have remained friends, and family outings such as that have been par for the course. Prior to the Mother's Day celebration, they also reunited for the 2024 holiday season, in addition to attending Stagecoach 2025 together in April, for example. What's more, neither Kyle nor Mauricio has filed for divorce. We're close. We talk all the time, Kyle revealed to Andy of their relationship on the rhobh reunion. She confessed, however, that she didn't even know if Mauricio wanted to get back together because he has never said that. The agency founder, for his part, recently echoed his estranged wife's sentiment about their friendship in a chat with Briefing on Bravo, confirming that they do, indeed, talk all the time. Adding that their relationship is still amazing today, Mauricio continued, I love her. The monster truck and the midlife crisis. A tale of Kyle and Mauricio. Aspen echoes. The snow outside the Aspen home muffled the sound of the monster truck's engine. But inside the cozy wooden cabin, Kyle Richards heard it rumble before it even turned the corner. She looked up from her novel, a brow arching just as the massive vehicle pulled into view. Oh God, she muttered, sipping her tea. The truck loomed like a mechanical beast against the snow-covered drive. All matte black, giant wheels, and chrome detailing that gleamed like fangs in the winter sun. It was cartoonishly out of place, a muscle-flexing gesture in the quaint, quiet town. Kyle set down her tea. The book remained open, her finger marking the page, but her mind had drifted far from the fictional world she'd been immersed in. She thought about Mauricio, her estranged husband, her still sometimes confidant, the father of her children, and apparently, now the owner of what she had sarcastically dubbed the midlife crisis mobile. She smirked in spite of herself. You can't make this stuff up, she murmured aloud. The monster truck came to a dramatic stop, hissing as snow scattered beneath its tires. Kyle watched as Mauricio jumped out, looking every bit the relaxed bachelor in aviators, a beanie, and a smug grin. Behind him, the door opened again, and out poured his Miami crew, shirt unbuttoned, sunglasses at night types, full of charm, mischief, and bravado. Kyle stayed inside, sipping her tea. Glamour and growing pains. Back in Beverly Hills, the world was always watching. Cameras rolled, and secrets never stayed hidden for long. On that rhobh after show, Kyle sat next to Erica Jane, her voice steady, but her words laced with honest exasperation. "Probably there is, some truth to that," she said when Erica brought up Camille's comment about Mauricio's potential midlife crisis. She sighed, pulling at the hem of her jacket as if the fabric might hold answers. "I said it to his face," she continued, watching him navigate this separation. "The truck, the trips, the partying. There's times I've thought, this is textbook. Major midlife crisis vibes." The audience saw her roll her eyes affectionately, but there was no mistaking the weariness behind them. This wasn't just reality TV drama. This was her life. And life, Kyle knew, didn't come with editors. Lost in Miami. The footage from Miami had gone viral before she'd even heard about it. Mauricio, shirt unbuttoned to his chest, drink in hand, laughing with Kyle Cook from Summer House and Paul P.K. Kemsley. There was music, neon lights, a girl, younger, blonder, and then the kiss. When Andy Cohen asked her during the season 14 reunion if it hurt, Kyle didn't flinch. "It makes me think that's one of the reasons we're not together," she said. "That version of Mauricio, that's not who I married. Not anymore. They'd built a life of structure and style, of children and legacy, but that was then. This new version of Mauricio, who partied in Miami like it was 1999, was unfamiliar to her. Still, she didn't cry. Kyle had stopped crying about Mauricio months ago. The Mother's Day outing. A few months later, Kyle found herself seated beside Mauricio at a Los Angeles club, Farrah and Alexia flanking them, Sophia twirling on the dance floor, Nikki Hilton sipping something pink and potent at the VIP table. The music pounded, but for once, Kyle didn't mind. It was a strange, surreal kind of peace. Mauricio leaned over and shouted above the bass, "You're actually having fun." Kyle grinned, "Don't get used to it." He laughed, that warm, familiar laugh, and for a brief moment, they weren't estranged or separated. Just two people with decades of memories and 4 daughters between them. But as the lights flashed across his face, she noticed it again, that glint in his eye, the edge of restlessness, like he was always looking just past holiday whispers and stagecoach smiles. They'd promised each other they would always spend the holidays together, for the girls, if nothing else, and they did. Thanksgiving passed with roasted turkey, wine, and laughter. Christmas brought matching pajamas, despite the awkwardness of a shared guest room and old habits dying hard. New Year's Eve saw them at the same party, separate countdowns. Then Stagecoach 2025 came, and the cameras were back. They posed for a picture, her in denim and diamonds, him in cowboy boots and confidence. And for a fleeting second, social media buzzed. Are Kyle and Mauricio getting back together? They weren't, not really. Conversations and confessions. On a cool April morning, Kyle sat across from Andy again, this time in the Bravo clubhouse. Her hair fell in soft waves around her face, and her voice was even when she spoke. "We're close. We talk all the time." Andy leaned forward. "Do you want to get back together?" She paused. "I don't know. He's never said that. He's never asked." And maybe that was what hurt the most, not the partying or the women or the monster truck, but the fact that he didn't fight, didn't say, "Come back." She'd always imagined if things went wrong, there would be passion, promises, fireworks. Instead, there was this muted acceptance. Mauricio's turn. In a separate interview with Briefing on Bravo, Mauricio sat with the same easy charm that had once made him one of the most admired men on reality television. But this time, his eyes were softer, more reflective. "We talk all the time," he said. "Our relationship is still amazing. I love her." He didn't say more. He didn't have to. It was the kind of love that lingered, not burning like it once had, but warm, steady, complicated. Still love. Monster trucks and metaphors. Back in Aspen, the monster truck sat idle in the drive, half buried in snow. Kyle stood by the window, watching it. "Looks ridiculous," Farah said, appearing beside her. Kyle smirked. "You think?" "He's going through it," Farah added, gentle. Kyle nodded. "I know." Farah looked at her. "You still love him?" Kyle's smile was small, wistful. "Of course I do. But sometimes love isn't the question. It's whether you can still build a life with someone who's become a stranger to the one you used to be." Farah nodded and rested her head against her mother's shoulder. Outside, the snow continued to fall, softening the sharp edges of everything. Even the truck. The things they don't say. There were things Mauricio never said, like whether he regretted the Miami trip or the monster truck, or how Kyle had cried quietly in their old bathroom when the pictures surfaced online.